Or maybe the message is not pivoting soon enough. Maybe that's it. You've heard me talk about how this is like an add-on to the last few, where there's been quite a few things I've poured myself into and they haven't taken off. And so it always is a fine line for me. Like, is it time to pivot? Or no, you need to be patient and you have to master that skill, or you have to master that craft and you have to get better at it. And if you're still enjoying it, just keep doing it. And so it is, at times I will question myself. I'll doubt myself, and I think sometimes it's beneficial, right? Because we can get into autopilot or not recognize that we're being pivoted a certain way. And I will sometimes get disappointed to the point where I'll not only be disappointed, but then I'll get angry and sometimes feel bitter, right? Or it's like more than disappointed. And I think, like, when I recognize that, I'm like, first of all, stop that shit, right? You're not owed anything. And what could you be doing better? How can you make this whatever? And, or it's like, well, maybe because you should have pivoted a long time ago, right? Like, were you at some point given that nudge and you were hanging on like a dog with a bone, right? We have to figure that flow out for ourselves. Sometimes it's clear and sometimes it's not at all. And I do wonder that sometimes, like, does the anger, disappointment, or bitterness come in when we've hung on too long because we weren't listening? We wanted it our way, and we wanted it this way, done now, X, Y, and Z, and it's not happening, and we're not letting go. We're not allowing that universal flow. And so then we become stuck, stagnant, rigid, bitter, disappointed. It's like, well, then fucking let go, right? And again, it's like, it's not, I don't know that it's always so easy. I don't know if that's always so easy to see, hear, determine, understand, or at least not for me, I think sometimes that concept is so clear to me and it'll click like such an aha and like be so ridiculous it's really laughable. And other times it's like I'm searching to even comprehend what the fuck that means or how to do such. And I'll feel and see those swings. Like when I'm in the swing of not seeing, understanding, able to comprehend that, I see that I'm stuck there. And then it's like the more I see that I'm stuck there, the more I'm stuck there and the more frustrated I get, which is even more comical when you get out of it and look back like, oh God, you are stubborn. But again, sometimes it can be in the best intentional way. Like sometimes I'll be stubborn because I have the best intentions. I don't realize I'm being stubborn. I think I'm being like obedient or good or disciplined, or do you see what I'm saying? It's like, oh, my heart or my intention or my loyalty even to myself or to that project or to whatever it is with the best of intention. I don't recognize that I'm being stubborn or stuck or hanging on to something that needs to go. It's just not seen through that lens at that time in that way. But when you get unstuck, when you do release it, when you do let go, when you do move forward and you look back, you laugh at yourself because then you can see, crystal clear 20/20 vision, that hindsight that you're like, oh, for God's sake. And for some of us who have that as a habitual pattern, even at chipping away at that, even after having a billion ahas, a billion times where it has to be that breakthrough, it's almost like sometimes it does feel like, well, is there just this lesson I'm not learning? Or is it just accepting and understanding that's who I am, right? Like I am loyal, I am dedicated, I can be very disciplined, like all these things. And instead of looking at that as a flaw, we can look at that as a benefit, but we also have to have that fine line where that blessing can turn to a flaw, right? It's like anything. There's always that balance and fine line. There's something else around, like Yeah, it can be that blessing or curse, but it can be habitual. It can be like it's like a pattern you don't see. It can be all these things. Oh, right. Some of us have also learned and have gotten into the habit, I think unconsciously for me at times, where I recognize that there are a lot of times that I actually grow in resistance, not because I want to, not because it feels good, but because that's simply what I have experienced time and again. And because I've experienced time and again, and then have recognized that pattern, I also see that that's what I'm doing. It's like I continue to call it in because I've continued to adjust to it, tolerate it, accept it, because it's all I knew, right? And it's what I had continually experienced, but you continually experiencing it because you're constantly calling it in. You're constantly calling it in because that's where you're vibrating and that's where you're vibrating. It's like, this cycle we can go through. And so we have to break that pattern if we really don't want it. And so there was a time period where they had me doing that. They had me just dropping everything. Like sooner, quicker, just to get that to become more familiar and to then also recognize and see that everything still works out. Right? So I guess it was that idea where for the longest time I would hold on to things because it was also the understanding that, well, no, you have to continue to put time and effort and have patience and discipline. And it does take time. It's not always instant. You have to take that inspired action and allow it to grow naturally. And so, like I said, though, there would be times where it's like wait around year after year. It's like, well, that crop never came up. So guess what? It's not going to come up. Stop waiting year after year, right? If it didn't come up the first year in like some magical way, the second year, like move along, right? And so that was maybe like a really hard thing for me to like see or break or understand. In that, again, it was like I was always trained to have that patience and dedication and loyalty and all this. And I'm not saying not to have that, but I'm also saying it was like they had to train me in letting that theory go too, and just trusting and believing in the universe. So it almost felt like I wasn't loyal to anything then, or I wasn't disciplined in anything then. It was like constantly starting stuff and then being told, okay, toss it. I was like, what do you mean? I just started, or it's just getting good. Nope, toss it. What do you mean? No, toss it. And you have to like sometimes trust and believe like, all right, fuck, really? Yeah. And then it all works out. So then when it continues to happen, you start to trust yourself more and more, and you start to recognize, what is being taught and why it's being taught, right? Like that's not always a message for everybody, or it's not something everybody needs to learn, but maybe some of us who are so stubborn, we have to have that other end of the spectrum to recognize you are safe, you are protected, everything's okay. Your higher self wants what's highest and best for you, just as you do, and you have to trust that. Like, don't doubt yourself, don't worry about it. Recognize, this idea of what's meant for you is going to come. It's like as long as you're listening to yourself, honoring yourself, trusting yourself, going within, and fucking relaxing more. For me, anyway. I mean, that's like a big thing. It's kind of funny how it's like we take life too seriously, but then we lose our life because we take it too seriously. We're no longer enjoying it, or whatever the case may be. And it's almost the opposite too. It's like, well, no, you need to take your life so seriously that you're no longer going to do those things that you hate or don't like, or that hold you back, or that aren't fun, or that have you stiff and stubborn and rigid, right? Like, sorry, I'm watching. There's a lot of activity that's all of a sudden going on outside my window. I'm getting distracted. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.